Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about books, but we're also going to talk about it in the way of I set a goal to read a certain amount of books this month as a part of my June goals. We talk about goals here on my channel, but we're also going to talk about fun, we're going to talk about joy, and we're going to talk about how goals can be joyful. Yes, they can. So let's get right into it. Hey there, so if you are new to my channel, my name is Lisa and we like to talk about goals, we like to talk about life, we like to talk about slowing down, living, enjoying, but also reaching those goals that we've set. And one of the goals that I put on my vision board for the month of June, because I do monthly vision boards, was to read 7 fiction books. So in the month of May, I read the most fiction books that I've maybe read as an adult. I'll be honest, I have gotten into reading fiction a lot over the last couple of years, but usually I am reading somewhat personal development and then reading some fiction, but definitely not 7 books in a month. So I have my TBR here that we're gonna go through, and I want to know if you've read any of these, if you have any opinions. I am someone who thoroughly enjoys reading fiction, and I have realized over especially the last year that I would rather sit down with a book in my hand than watch TV. And I still love watching a good movie. I love watching and binging a good TV show every now and then, but for the most part, I find so much more joy, and I find that I am so much less stressed, anxious, all of those things when I am lessening the amount of social media and TV time that I'm consuming, and when I am maximizing the amount of time that I'm reading fiction. So same concept though, which is kind of interesting because some of the books that you read, they are a movie, or they've been made into a movie, or they're like a movie. But for whatever reason, because I'm not consuming it on a screen, and obviously there are studies that show when you're watching screens and whatnot, all the things. We won't get into all that, but let's talk about this. So I put it out as a goal on my June vision board that I was going to read 7 fiction books and that I was going to do a minimum of 30 minutes of reading every single day. So this is more so a habit that I want to instill, but it is still a goal as well. And reading 7 books, even though I did do it last month, that's kind of a steep goal. It really is. At this point, I'm literally 32 weeks pregnant, so I don't have a ton of time. I've got more time because she's still in my stomach versus when she's gonna soon be out of it. But we're gonna go through this and talk about the different books that I have. And at the end, I wanna chat a little bit about how and why this is such an important goal on my vision board, why I take the time to even bother, even though it's just a personal thing that I enjoy doing, and hopefully encourage you to feel like you can pick up some hobbies, whether that be reading or something else, and you can feel really good about adding that to your monthly goals because it's going to support you. So let's get into the book talk first. So first and foremost, I have already started when I'm recording this video. It is June 4th. So I've actually already started this book and am nearly done with it. I think I have like 100 pages left. I'm on page 271. And there are 400 pages. So a little over 100 pages, more like 130 pages left of this book. So I have really enjoyed this so far. This is called The Partner Plot, and it is by Kristina Forrest. I have never read a book by her, but I have really enjoyed reading this so far. I promise to give no spoilers because obviously we're going through TBR and I haven't read any of these books, but I won't give this one away. All I can say about this is it's just a super fun romantic comedy. Something else that I have also started doing, which I enjoy more than I ever thought I could, is I have been pairing whenever I'm reading a book. Based on the genre of that book, I will pull up my Spotify and I will find a playlist that matches the genre of the book. So this being like a rom-com style book, I found a rom-com mix on Spotify, and I literally play this in the background while I am reading, sometimes in a headphone, just sometimes out loud using the speaker on my phone. And it makes the reading so much more enjoyable. Like, cause sometimes I don't just want to sit in my house like with it being quiet. And so I'll turn this on and it just makes all the difference. It is so wild. So I will link that below. I'll link all of these books below. And if you've read any of these, if you have an opinion on any of these, I would love to know. Don't give me any spoilers, of course, but just like if you liked it, the type of book that you like, and if you like this style of video. So, Partner Plot by Kristina Forrest has been super cute so far. Just the banter is great, like all the things. I really enjoyed that. So that's the first one. After that, I have no specific order per se on these, and actually This was supposed to be in my May TBR. This was in my May TBR. So was this book, The Fellowship of Puzzlemakers by Samuel Burr. This is something, these both came off of the new shelf at my library. By the way, I don't own any of these books. These are all checked out from my local library because I'm trying to save money right now. We're currently building a house. Got a baby on the way. I'm not trying to buy a million books. Someday maybe we'll get there. But for now, I'm just a girl that goes to her local library and checks out these books for free. And then it kind of puts me on a timeline to like get them done instead of having this like massive TBR cart. I do have a massive digital TBR, but I don't have a massive like physical TBR because I either read these or I have to take them back to the library without reading them, and I hate doing that. So these are two that were actually technically on my May TBR, and despite the fact that I did read 7 books in May, I didn't get to these two because I ended up reading like 3 or 4 books on my Kindle. So I'm not gonna let myself read on my Kindle this month because it is summer, it's June, I'm reading outside so much more and I don't want to overheat my device. Plus I'm just really enjoying reading the physical book. I'm enjoying going to the library and finding the physical books. I remember doing that when I was younger. My mother is an avid reader, loves reading, and I remember when we used to go to the library with her and I would go find my books, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So next book on this list that technically was from last month is this Fellowship of Puzzlemakers. I renewed both of these, and so that's why I still have them. So this is literally kind of what it says. It's about puzzle makers. I really didn't know anything about this when I picked it up. I just saw it. I was kind of intrigued. I love puzzles, so I thought, why not? So haven't read that yet, but that's one of them coming up. The next one that I have, these are all from this month, specifically that I went to the library and picked out this month. This first one is by Lucy Clarke and is called One of the Girls. So I'm assuming this is a thriller. I'm pretty sure it is. So a little about me, I definitely enjoy the rom-com. I enjoy a little bit of spice, but I've come to realize that if it has too much spice, I end up skipping through it and I just am like, not interested. So I know others are different, but that's just kind of my personal thing. I'll still read the book, but I may just skip over some of those parts. I also love thrillers. Like when my husband and I sit down to watch a movie, we like to look for like the psychological thrillers. Law and Order SVU has always been a favorite show of mine. And sometimes I wonder, like, what does that say about me? I don't know. We're not going to unpack that today, but One of the Girls, I believe, is a psychological thriller. I mean, it just looks like it. Oh yeah, you'd kill to be one of them, it says on the very front. One of us is a liar, one of us is a stranger, one of us is a cheater, but which one of us is a killer? So definitely. So intrigued by that. Like I said, I'm always down for a thriller, but I really enjoy reading like a thriller and then doing like a palate cleanser with a rom-com-y type quick read. I really have figured out that I enjoy kind of mixing those up. So the next two, these were both at my library, and I had seen this one first, but I believe Behind the Net is the first in the series. Hopefully I'm not getting that backwards. I might be, but I ended up grabbing both of them, even though I'm pretty sure that these can be standalone, but I like when they're interconnected. I like reading about that. So I've grabbed both of these. I do know, based on what I've heard, that there is some spice in here. So either way, hockey, romances, both by Stephanie Archer. So we have Behind the Net and The Fake Out. So I've got both of those, which I feel like will be good to alternate with, like I said, the thrillers. I like to read more of the rom-com-y romantic type books in between reading my thrillers. If I read too many thrillers back to back, they start to like mesh together and I can't remember which is which. So I like to break them up in that way. The next one is called The Wife Between Us, and it is by Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Pekkanen. Friendishly clever in the vein of Gone Girl and The Girl on the Train. I read Gone Girl. I've not read The Girl on the Train. I think this is another thriller though. Readers will love the skewed psychology and shifting perspectives of this domestic thriller. So that's another one. Like I said, I didn't really know anything about that. Found that one. Next one is Old Flames and New Fortunes by Sarah Hogle. Never read a book by her that I know of. A small magical town tucked away in rural Ohio, Moonville, is the perfect place for Flora Fortunist Romina Tempest to use the language of flowers to help the hopeful manifest love in their lives. After giving up on her own big romance 11 years ago, at least she can bask in others' happily ever afters. So definitely more of a romantic, looks like it's a little bit of maybe some magical pieces to it. At the top it says gorgeous, heartfelt, and romantic to the very last word. So I feel like, again, that will be a nice one to read in between thrillers. And then the last one, this was on my digital TBR in Goodreads. It's called Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. I think it's been on there for quite a while, but on the front it says a gripping page turner. So when she was 16 years old, Angela Wong, one of the most popular girls in school, disappeared without a trace. That says it. So those are the books that I have. I have, let's see here. Whoops. The ones that I grabbed just the other day from my library. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I grabbed 6 from my library, knowing that I had already started the partner plot and I still had this one to read. My goal is 7. I have 8 books here, and I of course have Kindle Unlimited, and I could definitely, you know, find something on there, but I'm gonna really try to stick to these. I also typically am reading one personal development book at a time, so I do currently have a personal development book that I will hopefully finish. I have been slowly but surely making my way through it the last couple of months. It's called Do the New You by Stephen Furtick. It's a like faith-based personal development. I really enjoy it. I just, truth be told, have been focusing more on reading fiction than I have been on reading that. So when I sit down to do my Bible time, I'll get that in, but sometimes I just don't get the reading of that book in. So with all that being said, going back to the goal side of things, I realized a couple of years ago, I'm big on goal setting. I'm big on, you know, I've worked really hard to live the life that I live now. I have the flexibility where I get to be my own boss. I get to work from home. You know, I get to create my own schedule. I used to be a teacher. I taught early childhood special ed. I loved what I got to do, but there wasn't a lot of room for growth. Your raise each year was so minuscule, despite how hard you worked during the school year or not. You would have teachers who had been around for 30 years who were barely doing anything, showing up right when contract time started and leaving the moment contract time ended, and, you know, did such minimal things. And there's no hate to those teachers, but they would be making $10,000 to $20,000 more than I would be as a teacher, and the only opportunity I ever had to get to that point was to also put in my 30 years. So through that, I started building a health and wellness business on the side, and that is what I've been doing for the last 4 years. I've been out of the classroom already for 4 years, which is insane. So I now have the flexibility and the freedom to build my own schedule, to work, to do different things. I'm taking on other endeavors. I have this YouTube channel. Like, I have so many passions, and through all of that, I got really good and clear on goal setting, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to show up for the world, and what needed to happen in order for me to actually like achieve those goals that I was after. Through that though, I got so focused on goals, I got so focused on the grind, I got so focused on hustling that I stopped like living and enjoying life. No, not okay. Like, I'm just not okay with that. So now I have learned in the last couple of years, I have to balance it out. And so by balancing it out, because what would happen is I would work myself to the point of burnout where then I would want to do nothing. And that, I hated that. So it was just like constant roller coaster of like, work hard, work hard, work hard. I'm dead. I need to do nothing. I'm just going to disappear from the world. And then work hard, work hard, work hard. And I hated that. The last couple of years, I have been on this just like steady ride where I am working hard, but I'm also enjoying my life. I'm ending my work days most days by 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I'm running errands. I'm able to go with my husband. He also works for himself, so I'm able to travel with him and do different things that I would have never, ever been able to do if I was still teaching in the classroom full time. So with all that being said, one thing that I started to realize that I really enjoyed doing and that I had dropped as a hobby altogether was reading fiction. So that has now become something and a goal that I put on my monthly vision board, on my yearly vision board, every single month and year, because I find that I enjoy it so much. And it's like a little bonus, it's a little reward, a little treat for myself, but it's also a way for me to ensure that I'm getting that balance in my life. I'm not just working all of the time, but instead I'm also enjoying myself and I'm doing activities that bring me joy. Some other things like that are my garden, are taking care of my chickens. I have 2 bottle calves right now. I have 1 dog. We go on walks, getting outside. Doing my workouts definitely is so good for my mental health, like so many things. So I still have work goals and I still work hard towards those work goals. But I found that when I was balancing work with enjoying my life, I actually did way better on achieving those work goals. and I was able to stay balanced and I was able to stay steady instead of this constant roller coaster of working really hard and then being burnt out and working hard and being burnt out. So all of that to say, this is one of the best things that I have done for myself, is finding a hobby that is something really enjoyable. I look forward to it. Reading is just so much fun for me, and I just want to encourage you to find a hobby, whether it be reading or something else that you enjoy, that brings you a ton of joy, that you can look forward to while still working really hard toward your goals. So thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are enjoying my channel and this video and this style, definitely hit subscribe so you can catch more. And otherwise, I will see you in my next video. See ya.